Cross.
You want me to use this microphone?
That'd be great.
I do have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to, but you don't have to do anything today.
Well, some of y'all know me, but my name is Erin Cross, and JC is one of my daughters, and Ely, who's in pre-K. But I'm here in reference to JC and the incident that took place on March the 11th, where another 5th grade boy wrote a note threatening to shoot her if he could. And he was suspended for 5 days and was allowed back at school. And after reading the Darren's apology on Fetcher News that said about the high school incident, that it was thought to be a joke, but we need to take social media post comments lightly. We don't need to take social media posts or comments lightly in this day and age, that we must take threatening statements seriously. And, you know, JC has to walk on eggshells every day, wondering what's going to happen. I met with Sandy and Shannon and the resource officers just the day after that it took place, and you know, we were told things that were going to take place, not all of them. And she ought to be safe at school. You know, that's the reason she's there, and I don't know what it's going to take to correct that. I understand there's not an alternative school. Now JC has to go to court later this month and talk about it, which a 5th grader ought not have to do that. So I don't know what the plans are of something in the future, or, you know, what can be done for this school year, but he has been removed from her classes, but there's still a lot of free time. You know, recess was one of the things that initially was said would be separated, and they're not separated, so JC was told to pick a side at the playground, but at the end of the day, she's the one being punished, and she didn't do anything wrong. Her words to me one night was, well, they're just liars, they're not going to do anything. And she shouldn't have to feel that way coming to school. I grew up here, I graduated from here. Never once did I ever feel like that. And in today's society, I mean, it's happening every day. There's been so many news articles since this started taking place. And, you know, I don't know what it's going to take. Hopefully not a child's life, and hopefully not my child's life. So I wish y'all would consider getting something in place and seeing what can be done to keep him away from her the remainder of the school year. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to call the board meeting to order. Darren, will you give the invocation?
If you bow your heads. Our dearest Heavenly Father, we just thank you for a beautiful day. We thank you for the safety of everyone through this weekend storms and high winds. Lord, we thank you for a great school year, and we just ask that you look over our teachers and our staff as the school year comes to a close. Lord, we ask you to be with the board members this evening and make sure that they make their decisions based on the best interest of our students and our schools. All these things we ask in your name. Amen. If you would stand for the pledge.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, has everyone had a chance to look over the agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Second. Any discussion over the agenda? Okay, all those in favor? Anybody's opposed?
We haven't got the consent agenda yet.
We would like to pull out the FBLA trip to vote on separately. Do I need a motion? Okay, we'll just do 2 separate votes on that then. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda minus the FBLA trip currently? I'll motion. Second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? None opposed? Do I have a motion to vote for the FBLA trip?
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
No.
Okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Discuss and approve the administrators and staff for the 1920 school year.
This is the list of certified employees and administrators that we discussed last week at the work session, and the changes that we discussed being made as well. So I would like to recommend that we approve the current administrators and staff as listed for the 2019-2020 school year.
Do I have a motion to approve the staff as presented?
Motion.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? None opposed? Item number 8 is to discuss and approve the recommendation of the new board member for the Macedonia post number 1. We have had several people express interest in this position. I would at this time like to make a motion that we appoint Brandon Grimsley to fill this post until the special election can be held in March.
I'll make a motion. All right, motion, so you want a second?
All those in favor? None opposed? Discuss and approve the recommendation for the varsity softball coach.
Mr. Melton would like to recommend Clay Livingston to be the head varsity softball coach for the 2019-2020 school year, so I would like to recommend Clay Livingston for that position.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? None opposed? Discuss and approve the high school football coach June 19 contract.
As we discussed last week, Coach Rockmore would like to get on up here before July and get to work with our football program. So as we discussed last week, I would like to offer him a 1-month contract in June before his contract for next year begins, so that he can resign from Johnson and come on up here and start working with our football players. So I would like to recommend we approve that contract for the month of June.
Do I have a motion to approve the coach contract for June 19?
Motion.
Second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? None opposed? Discuss and approve the high school math teacher.
Dr. Hobbs and myself interviewed a Christopher Drury over spring break, the Monday of spring break. He is a 16 years, or has 15 years experience teaching math in grades 6 through 12. He is certified math teacher, grades 6 through 12. He was teacher of the year twice in the school systems he has taught in. He was district teacher of the year in McIntosh County schools as well. And he also had an 87% pass rate on his EOC exams with the remedial math students of the school he was at. He also has 14 years coaching football experience, 4 years coaching basketball, 6 years coaching track, and 2 years experience as an assistant principal in a middle school. It did take but about 5 minutes, and I thought he was the best person for our school system and for our students. And so I highly recommend Christopher Drury for that position.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve Mr. Drury for the high school math teacher position?
Motion.
I will second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? None opposed? Discuss and approve the resignation of elementary school paraprofessional.
Trina Sylvie from the elementary school had sent an email to Stephanie saying she would like to change her intent to return. Said after much thought and prayer, she's decided not to return to her parapro job position for the next school year. So I would like to recommend that resignation from Trina Sylvie.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the resignation?
A motion.
Do I have a second? Second.
Any discussion?
Just decided she didn't.
Okay. All those in favor? None opposed? Dr. Page?
Thank you. Good evening. The elementary presentation this evening is by our Coach Sandler, Tamara Sandler. She is going to present from our Wellness Council. So she'll come up, and we have 3 of our students that are guests tonight, Caden Coggins, Reed Adams, and Mason Pearson. We appreciate their parents bringing them tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to Coach Sandler, and I'll go and do the presentation for her. Thank you.
Hello, we started at the elementary school through the that we needed something for our elementary students to get active and feel accomplished, and something that could be easily run. So I found this Marathon Kids running program, and we signed up our students. We had 23 students that started at the beginning of the season. Just to kind of give you an idea of what Marathon Kids is, it started in 2004, and their mission is through running to show kids that they achieve more than they could ever thought possible, and put them on the path to a healthier lifestyles. So it kind of went along with our wellness committee mission as well, to kind of get our kids active and moving. In our club, monthly we set goals. So the first day of each month that they met, they set, the first time they set a long-term goal, what their target goal of miles run or marathons run for the season. They set monthly goals, how many miles they wanted to run each month. When we met during this time, I gave them what they ran the month before, and they could either stay with that or try to push themselves a little bit further. They did weekly goals and daily goals, how many laps they wanted to achieve per session that we met. Within our club, we built relationships and increased social networks between 4th and 5th graders. They were able to walk, run, socialize, be active together. They could walk and talk or run and talk, however they wanted to structure their time during the run club session. They also earned incentives through Nike, and we'll go over what those are in just a few minutes. So within our group, we were called the Town's Little Indian Runners, and we started on October 15th and finished on April 15th. So over that 6-month period, our overarching goal was for each runner to complete 4 marathons or attempt to complete, which was 104.8 miles. We met Mondays and Wednesdays for an hour each, and their goal was to run about 2 to 3 miles per hour session. We used the outdoor track and the indoor track on days that it was bad weather. The outdoor track was 4 laps equal to a mile. The indoor track was 13 laps. We kept track of how many laps they did on the outdoor track with popsicle sticks, and then the indoor track with rubber bands. And they calculated at the end of each session how many laps they ran. And then I kept a total running count and let them know how close they were to their next marathon and so on. So within our club, we had 5 participants that completed their first marathon, so at least 26.2 miles. We had 7 that completed 2 marathons, 52.4 miles. 3 that completed 3 marathons, 78.6 miles. And 3 that completed 4 marathons, 104.8. And one of those 3 also completed his 5th marathon of 131 miles. So as a group, the 23 students that we started with from start to finish, of course not all 23 finished with us. We had some that with sporting events couldn't come to each session, so they came when they could. But they ran an equivalent of 1,351 miles. So that would be equivalent to running from Hiawassee to Santa Rosa, New Mexico, crossing 6 states. So we're really excited of their accomplishment and all that they did over that time. And then I wanted to honor our 3 top runners, if y'all want to come up. We had Caden Coggins, who finished 5 marathons. He finished his season with 137.35 miles. Reed Adams finished 4 marathons with 111.75 miles. And Mason Pearson also 4 marathons with 111.6. So I'm really proud of these guys. I'm going to have them just kind of give you a couple comments about why they enjoyed running. So Caden, what did you enjoy most about running?
It kept me in shape, and I felt like I should be running because I just love running and stuff.
Did you know before you started how many miles were in a marathon? Do you know now?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Reed, what did you like most? What made you start a run club? Why did you want to be a part of the run club?
I loved running before I started, and a lot of my friends were also coming to join in.
Okay. So it was a social thing as well? Awesome. How about you, Mason? Why did you join?
I like running.
You like
and
running?
it's something you should be active.
Awesome. What you decided to do after you joined a run club?
I did a 5K because running club inspired me to do that, and I loved it.
That's awesome. Oh, come get a picture real quick. You want me to get up there too? Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Hi, Ken. Can I ask some of the parents to comment?
Sure.
How did you feel about it?
I absolutely loved it, that he was doing it. Obviously, I'm a soccer coach, so I'm impartial to kids being healthy and being active. So, you know, they're actually, both of them play soccer on my team, so they came to practice a little extra tired, but it was good, and it helped them, you know, perform, and I'm sure it helped all the other kids that did other sports perform better. And now, actually, I have to train because I have to go run a 5K with him. Yeah. So I love it. I'm glad that they're doing it. I hope they keep doing it.
Yes, I'm very glad that he did. He actually got upset with me a couple times when he was sick running a fever because I would not let him do it anyway. But it's kept him in good shape, like for basketball, and especially soccer. So I like it.
Bill?
I'm amazed at how much they actually enjoyed it and how motivated he was to keep on pushing and going further, and I think it really has helped him in basketball and baseball. Very proud of him.
And if you notice their shirts, that was one of their incentives. I forgot to mention that. They got a t-shirt for their first marathon, shoelaces that had the number on the shoelaces for their second, a shoe clip that had the number that goes on the shoelaces, and then their fourth one, they get a bracelet that has their number. So it was, and all that came from Nike, which was cool too.
Are you going to do it next year?
Yeah, I'm going to do it again next year. Yep.
Okay, good evening. The enrollment currently at the middle school is 230 students. We are in preparation for the milestone testing. Ms. Barong has already begun setting up dates for training for the teachers. Our first day of testing at the middle school will be April 30th, and we will begin with English Language Arts. Wednesday, April the 24th, we're going to have a meeting for the parents of upcoming 5th grade students. This will give next year's 6th grade students an opportunity to meet the 6th grade teachers and gain information so that they have a smooth transition to the middle school. This Thursday afternoon, we have an art show and a band concert.
The art show will be in the elementary school gym beginning at 5, and the band concert will follow at 7 p.m. So please come out to that if you can. Next week, progress reports will be going home on April the 24th. So May is a very busy month for the middle school, and I know all 3 schools, so that was the paper that I passed out to you, just an attachment of a lot of activities that we have going on in May. Does anyone have any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Good evening. High school enrollment is at 287. FBLA competed at their state leadership conference, and from those 19 competitors, we had 14 top 10 winners. And of the 14, we have 12 who are going to advance to the National Leadership Conference in San Antonio, Texas this June. You probably saw in the newspaper, but I wanted to mention as well that Taylor Cornett signed to play soccer at Bruton Parker College. Soccer had their senior night this past week, and baseball is going to have theirs this Thursday night at home. Both boys and girls soccer teams look like they're going to have the opportunity to advance to the state playoffs, and we will find out for sure at the end of this week if they both are, and we have the possibility of hosting the first round here at home for the boys and girls soccer state playoffs. We have our Fine Arts Showcase, and this is the first time that all the Fine Arts departments have gotten together. I think this is a great opportunity for parents to come out this Thursday night, as Ms. Chastain said, from 5 till about 8 o'clock. From 5 to 7 in the elementary gym, the art teachers are going to have the students' artwork displayed, and parents are able to purchase those as well. At 6 o'clock, the band is going to perform, and then at 7 o'clock, the chorus and dance will perform here in the auditorium. So, got a lot going on. We'll have baseball senior night and all of the Fine Arts Showcase here. Prom is coming up week after next on Saturday, April the 27th at the rec department. So, the prom committee is in overtime right now, starting to decorate and finalize plans. The Athletics Honors Program is scheduled on May the 2nd here in the auditorium. Seniors have completed their scholarship applications. There are a few more finishing up, but for the most part, those deadlines have passed. We have a couple of seniors who are finishing up on their capstone project. So seniors are winding down, getting ready for their last EOC ever, their last IXL assignment, and looking forward to graduation. And as I gave you, you have the handout for upcoming events happening at the high school in April and May.
The only thing I have to add would be the projects, of course, that are coming up this summer. We're constantly working on those and trying to be prepared for when they can start those. We're still on timeline, hopefully, that we will start replacing the seats in the big gym in May while school is still in session, since it will only be up top in the seating area. That shouldn't interfere with PE. Although we may be able to get started on the bathroom renovations in the locker rooms in the big gym as well, because those have to be brought up to ADA standards for students with disabilities as well. So those, we don't have a choice but to do those projects as well. And if that's the case, then there may be high school classes in PE having to go to the football field or somewhere to have PE, and maybe we do look to get started on some of these here in May. The other project should begin in June. Once again, we're renovating the high school and middle school library. I don't think that library has changed in the 40 years this building has been here. I think the same furniture, same books, same bookshelves as when I was in elementary school here myself. So it is going to have a great look. I'm very excited about the way the library is going to look. All the flooring in the middle and high school classrooms are going to be changed to a laminate vinyl tile, which they call an LVT. So there won't be any more carpet to ruin and us having to clean every single year. So it'll be way easier to clean for our maintenance staff as well. We'll be replacing all the lights. All of the lights will be LED lights, so that will hopefully will help on our energy management as well. So lots of things going to be happening. Last year we felt like we did a whole lot of projects, but you walked through the building and you didn't actually see anything because it was all the roof and HVAC systems. So we're kind of excited to do the projects this summer, so when students actually show back up to school, you'll actually see what has occurred. Everything will be repainted in the school as well, and the bathrooms in the hallways themselves have to be expanded for ADA standards as well. So there's going to be a lot of changes inside the building that you will actually be able to visually see when you come in the school next year and say, okay, they actually did some projects this year. So we're excited about that and getting those started, and should come in on time or before like we did last year. Of course, we're not starting the first day of school until around April or August 15th again, like we did this year, just to give as much time to get those projects done as humanly possible. But that's all I have.
Do we need a closed session?
We do not.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn? You want to second it? Sure. Okay. All those in favor?